Okay, so let's talk about the second beta of Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I just finished it up, and I can say that they did make some improvements on the mechanics as far as the movement goes. But guys, what the f*** happened? This isn't Ghost Recon. This isn't the Ghost Recon I remember. Even Wildlands was a stretch. But what are they doing with Ghost Recon Breakpoint? Okay, let's back up. Allow me to elaborate real quick. So recently, I just got off a discussion forum with some fans of Ghost Recon Breakpoint, or at least I didn't know they were fans until, obviously, it was too late. But I got off a discussion with them where the typical argument from these players was, it's just a beta. Now, I am one to debate with a reasonable discourse. I'm not one to just come at people with my opinions, throw them in people's faces without any actual fact. So we ended up actually having a pretty good discussion on the subject. I informed them that, yes, it is technically, quote-unquote, a beta, as they say, but really a beta nowadays in AAA gaming is just a glorified demo that devoids the developer of any personal responsibility or accountability when they release a broken product or unfinished game, etc., etc. It's a scapegoat is really what it is. They did bring some good arguments in. For example, they came in and they said, you know, a series needs to innovate. A series needs to change and adapt to the times in order to improve. If it doesn't, it's damned if it does and damned if it doesn't. And I said, well, that's true. However, there's a fine line between innovating and implementing simple mechanics from other games like Ubisoft has been doing. If you didn't see, you know, what I'm talking about, look at my last video. But basically, they're implementing mechanics from other games like Assassin's Creed, like Far Cry, like The Division, into one game to kind of create a minimum viable product or MVP that'll decrease production values but bring in more profits for the developer. So they literally took mechanics, like I said, from Assassin's Creed, from Far Cry, from The Division, and they smashed them together into a game because they don't want to take any risks. That's the problem that we have in the AAA video games industry right now, is just a lack of originality and a lack of creativity and a lack of risk-taking. For example, look at how many remasters there are of games or reimaginings of games because people are too afraid to create something different. This is why indie gaming is so important, guys. Indie developers are actual gamers. AAA developers, for the most part, are not gamers. They're suits, they're executives, they're shareholders, people who care about profit over enjoyment for games. Indie developers create passion projects because they're gamers and they want other people to experience their artwork. Anyways, getting back to it, from what I've seen and played, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, especially in the second beta, it just lacks soul and originality. What it's doing, like I said before, is it's taking mechanics from previous games that Ubisoft has done, it's cramming them into one system, but the issue is the mechanics conflict with each other, so it doesn't make for a good loot system, it doesn't make for a good leveling system, it makes for clunkier menus, and it's just all around an absolute disaster. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Ghost Recon series, but this, in my eyes, is not a Ghost Recon game. I even had a little bit of fun with Wildlands. Granted, I thought the open world was barren and empty, but this is not what I remember from Ghost Recon. This feels like a cash-in. So further into the conversation I had with these players, they were saying things like, oh, well, how is it a disgrace to the Ghost Recon name? What do you mean? It's just another Ghost Recon game. And I said, well, no, it's not. If you go back to the original Ghost Recon or, for example, Ghost Recon Island Thunder, those games were a challenge. The older and original Ghost Recon games were actually first-person shooters, not third-person shooters, that employed critical thinking. They employed tactics, strategizing the proper loadout for mission recon routes, all that stuff. You had one misstep in those games, and you were a walking corpse, for sure. In Ghost Recon Breakpoint, you're a bullet sponge. The AI is absolutely atrocious. These guys will literally be looking at you and they won't do shit. The AI, they pop out of nowhere and they start shooting at you. And from what I remember, even the original Ghost Recon had more situationally aware AI than Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So you could also, in Breakpoint, get abilities like letting you have X-ray vision and tagging people through walls so you know exactly where they are at all times. It's literally the dumbing down of gaming, guys. It requires zero skill set and provides absolutely no challenge. And if I sound upset about this, it's because I genuinely am upset. I miss tactical games. I miss Ghost Recon. Rainbow Six has gone in a completely separate route. I want my Ghost Recon back. Rainbow Six Siege is not a Rainbow Six game to me. Just as much as Ghost Recon Breakpoint or Ghost Recon Wildlands aren't Ghost Recon games to me. Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon used to encourage tactical thinking. They used to encourage strategy, and now that is all gone. It's all about running around, getting the coolest loot, dude, and shooting people and driving vehicles, and it's not what it used to be about. And I'm all about innovation. I'm all about taking a step forward and a leap forward, but changing the fundamental mechanics of a game like Ghost Recon Breakpoint and turning it into like this hollow, soulless shell of a game that just trying to mimic every other game, it doesn't work. Now, again, I was met with the, well, it's just a beta. It's just a beta. Give it time. It's going to release. And I said, guys, this game releases in 4 days. October 4th. It is now September 30th. What exactly do you think they're going to fix in 4 days besides a few minor bugs here or there? The bugs and the glitches aren't exactly the only problem, although they are a problem. The main issue with the game is its fundamental foundation, something that you can't fix with a simple patch or a bug. It's something that needs complete rework. Now, the reason that this is such an issue and this is so frustrating, guys, is that I've been gaming a long time. I've been doing this for over 27 years. I've seen these trends in the evolution of this gaming industry so many times, and it's not going to be good when this game comes out. It's not. No matter how many times people defend it, it's just not going to be a good game, and that's unfortunate. Everybody, including the gamers, lose at that point. Now, this is why in 2019, we are in the stage we're in with AAA gaming. This is AAA gaming at its finest, where everything is hand-holdy, everything's broken, everything's infested with predatory monetization. The more we buy into this type of shit, the more shit we get shoveled down our throats, guys. This game could be so much better than it actually is, and it has so much potential to be something even bigger and better. But bigger and better comes at the expense of monetization, and unfortunately, this game is built much like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where monetization is in the forefront before gameplay and enjoyment. They want you to grind for all the best loot and all the best gear, and possibly even missions, or you can just buy an XP booster. You can throw them a few extra dollars and just pay your way through the game. I mean, why not? Why play the game? Right? This is the state we're in. It even got to a point where my buddy and I were playing and we were just so bored that we had no motivation to finish the quest. The quest system was just go here, hit this button, go here, kill the enemies, go here, talk to this guy. There was just no variety, and I know it's a short beta, but we all know that similar to Ghost Recon Wildlands, this game isn't going to have a deep quest system. So unfortunately, guys, that was my takeaway from Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Besides it being a buggy mess, I feel like it's fundamentally broken. I feel like the systems clash too much within the game, like the loot system, the mission structure, and even the systems for how you level up your character and how you upgrade your character and their stats. The systems clash when you have level 1 gear, but you're able to take down the higher ranking enemies with the skulls above their heads like they're nothing, with one shot to the head. And I get it that that's realistic, but at the same time, it's an example of how the systems clash. But that's all I have, guys, for the impressions of the Ghost Recon Breakpoint beta number 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sure I'm going to get all sorts of hateful comments for this, but I don't really give a because I love my video game industry and I'll defend it to the death. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and comment on the video. Let me know what you guys think or thought of the beta, and I'll see you guys in the next Talk Gaming.